Hello folks, it's Geezer. I'm just gonna show you a few things on here today if we get a chance. I just found out on this server that there are um, fishing poles on this server and I really want one. So I got a vehicle, a red military off-road I'm fixing up north, but I really prefer to run the map whenever I get a chance. So just got to pick up a few little things, and then we're going to run down south and pick ourselves out a fishing pole. If we get lucky, we'll stay there until we do. Hey, game seems to be working a little bit better now. Had problems with my mouse earlier. Now I'm having problems with my aim. But was on earlier and got infected and tried to cure it with the comfrey plant, and that turned out to be not so good. Went about on a half-hour long run, or an hour and a half it took me. Found a comfrey plant, and no good. So ended up having to use antibiotics anyway. So just got to do a couple little chores here. One, get a fishing pole. And two, I have to stop along the way and make a stash, so I figured I'd make a video, show you how to do it. This is Dayz, Arma 2 Dayz Vanilla on their mod. And talk to you a little bit about the game while we're on our run down there. So, gonna swing by Novi Sobor. Think I'll make a stash there. And then, gotta make several stashes maybe along the route north to help me out later on, and I'll explain where, when, and why, and how, and all that good stuff. There's a little bird helicopter right in front of us that needs some work up by Cabinino. You can see it in the distance there. Matter of fact, we can just run past that. So, killed a cow, killed a chicken, cooked them up. Got my blood back up a little bit for the infection, from the infection, and working it back up to 12,000. So you can see in the upper right hand corner, not all versions of the game have this, but this server does, and that's your little information chart up there on frames per second, uptime. I don't know if that's in-game total or how long your character's been alive. Zombies, murders, bandits killed. It says I killed 160 zombies so far, which is probably about right. Humanity's 2,500 for those who want to know. To get your hero skin, which is the hero clothes like Frankie on PC has, you have to have about 5,000 on your hero points instead of 2,500. Once you cross, I think it's about 55,000, 51, 5,200, you'll see when one of the times you spawn back in game, you'll be in hero skin whether you like it or not. And you can lose that hero skin if you die, if you mess something up. It's kind of the game's way of punishing you a little bit, but you get it back. So it just takes it away for like one restart. And then 3 hours later when the servers restart, or 4 hours, they have a 4-hour restart here, so it just gives it back to you. So this is one of two little bird helicopters I found that could be fixed up, and we will be fixing that up later and using it. Also, it tells you that in the upper right hand corner has my little microphone button for recording, but also has up there that there's 3 players online. I just got done talking to them, and they're just messing around on here and asked if I was friendly. So a lot of people will ask right up front, depending on what their plans are for the day, are you friendly? Are you not? Just to get a sense of what's going on. And it doesn't matter to me either way. If they want to be friendly, if they don't want to be friendly, I'm not shooting anybody today unless they take shots at me. Most of the time, unless there's missions or AI, I don't bother to carry a gun on me. It's very seldom that I'll ever run around this map with my gun out, because I think other players see it as more threatening. You see a player on the distance, a player following you, and they may not be following you intentionally. Just may happen to be that they're looting behind you, and you see a gun out. The first thought that goes through your mind is, "Oh my God, there's a guy right behind me, with a gun, and he's, following me." So he knows I've been looting and everything. And it just may be an absolute coincidence, and most of the time it's an absolute coincidence. If someone's going to take a shot at you, they'll take a shot at you as soon as they see you. And a lot of times they'll do it in very, very close quarters, mainly because it's just instinct, and because you both come around the corner at the same time and surprise each other. So let me show you the map here. I had to stash a truck on Vybor Hill right here. So we just come out of Vybor, ran down by Cabanino. And what we're going to do is we're going to run from here all the way down to Camishovo. There's an island off of Camishovo down here that has the fishing pole, and another one on Skalisty Island at the boathouse, and Camishovo at the boathouse. But I want to stop along the way, and there's a couple chores we can get out of the way, and one is to show you how to make a stash anyway. And I like to have at least 12 stashes on any server, depending on how many different servers I'm playing at the same time. Some have missions, some don't. Some have AI that will hunt you down in vehicle patrols and foot patrol, air patrol, or heli patrol. So this server doesn't have this. This is about as vanilla as it gets from what I can see so far. So I like to have about a dozen of them. And it's real important that where you place them. If you have a stash, I can tell you this. It's going to get ripped off. Sooner or later, people are going to steal out of it. Don't sweat it. It happens. People can't resist to keep their hands off of it. I will tell you now that just looking around here, trying to talk and think at the same time is a lot more difficult making a video than I thought it would be. Bunny rabbit. Hey, bunny bunny. I swear I'm going to slap myself if I say the word one more time, but it's very hard to concentrate on 3 different things at the same time. Now there is a pair of range finders. Don't need them now, but I'm going to take them. I have a bison, so I'll take a bison round. Just carrying a light bison with me. I don't need that much ammo, so I'm not going to stock up on ammo. But I'll tell you what I do need. I need a bandage. I'll take that. I need that heat pack for the swim more than likely. It's kind of like a bonus for me. It's nice to have. Because we're going to be going on a pretty lengthy swim today, maybe. Where hypothermia is going to be might be a little bit of a problem, depending on what time it is by the time we get down there. If it's in the evening time and it's nighttime, the water's pretty darn cold. And now I'm getting happier as we go. Just had so many problems with my mouse and menu this morning. This is a cargo drop that could have supplies. You'll notice it in a field. It'll be hard for you to notice it first, but it sticks out like a sore thumb. Pretty soon, much like a lot of things in Dayz, it's seeing the unseen. You can run by that at 500-600 meters and never see it. So what sticks out when you do that is when you scan the horizon like this, bushes, low stone walls. Come over here, scan again, there's a sheep. Some housing off to the distance. It's kind of hard to see in the distance over here. But one way to recognize cargo drops from a great distance is, I call them square rocks. You'll see so many rocks like this one right over top of my head in the field. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. But some will stick out and you'll say that rock over there looks a little bit square. And just as soon as you say the word square in your own mind, you realize that that's a cargo drop. Because from a great distance, that's all they look like is square rocks. So, a word about stashes. You're going to get ripped off. You're going to have people take stuff out of your tent and your stash. It happens. It's part of life. Get over it. Don't worry so much about it. There's about 3 or 4 different things. 4 I come up with the other day, I believe it was, to tell you about stashes and what would happen with stashes for people taking items. One, you're going to have the type of person that will only go in a stash if it's an emergency. They're just looking for either antibiotics, to borrow a gun, or morphine because they broke their leg and it's thousands of meters are crawling on their belly. They don't want to take your stuff, but it's an emergency. If you check your stash, you'll see that over the next couple days or weeks or at some time when you get back to it, if they can, they'll actually load stuff in your stash for you, sort of as to repay the favor. Now that's one time it'll happen. Another time it will happen was when people can't keep their greedy hands off of it, and it's because nobody else is around, nobody sees them, nobody's gonna know, so maybe I'll just take a look. I actually have a friend who does this. It drives me crazy, and he's like, come on over. Oh, there's a stash. They're like finding little hidden treasures for him. I can't do it. If I see a tent or a stash, I don't want to know what's in there. I don't care what's in there. I can get whatever I need in this game on my own. And I know that it's just the rule of thumb for me. We each come up with our own rule of ethics and code of ethics to play by in life and in game. But I know how precious little time that people have to play sometimes. They get 2 hours on a Saturday morning to themselves, or 3 hours. They don't need to come back to a stash that's been totally ripped off with all their best guns that took 20-30 hours to get some of that gear. In my gear, This one right down here, this is Story Sobor. And then down that way is Novi Sobor on the map. So I like to pick out a place. There's the place, spot log, that I can find at night. So let me switch my gear around while I still talk about this. Get rid of that. One more there. We're going to take the sandbags out. Put this away. Eat the MRE. Go over here. I have an empty box of antibiotics. And I'd like to just get rid of them. What you do is you click on the antibiotics. You read it down below in this section right here. It'll tell you what it is. Empty box of antibiotics. Oh, jeez. You can see it on the ground there. I turned around and saw that stick, the bent stick, and my first thought that went through my head was, "Oh man, snake!" There aren't snakes in this version of the game. Thank God. So we're gonna have to have an entrenching tool right down here and a shovel, and we're gonna right-click on sandbags, and we're gonna create stash. We're going to move it right back about here. And then we're going to need a ton of wood. And I can't remember if I brought nails with me or not. It'd be a shame if I didn't. Okay, good. Oh, yes. The menu before would not give me my axe. I had to actually go through and do it in a different way. So only 2 guys in line. I'm not going to sweat it even if they know where my stash is at. Even if they see me building it, I could care less. So anyway, the second type of person just can't keep their hands off your stash. Other people, the third reason people will be in your stash is payback. If they think that you killed them or did something wrong or somehow violated a code, did something unethical towards them, and that might be coincidence, you're working at the same mission, or they may think you actually shot at them when you were just in the area and minding your own business and somebody else shot at them. You may take the brunt of that. So that's a little bit of a revenge play right there. And they, excuse me. So the reason I don't worry about it, let me find this again here. Even hard for me to get to. Reason I don't worry about it is there's nothing you can't be online to protect your stashes 100% of the time anyway. And if you stress out over the little stuff like that, it's just going to be too much. It's not worth stressing about. The game could take gear and despawn gear from you that you could throw in your stash. You could throw it enough gear in your stash to where your stash is full, and then the game will delete that extra gear. So losing gear is just part of the game. Lose a little bit, gain a little bit. So we put down our one sandbag. Most of the time you just need, when we started out, you just needed a shovel for this stuff. And now you need, or just an entrenching tool, I'm sorry. Then you're going to right click on it here and come down and say gear, weapon, the bison, my gun, my pistol, and then it'll say upgrade. And just click upgrade, let the animation run through. So just take your hands off the mouse and your keyboard and just let it go until it tells you you're done with the animation. Upgrade done. So when we click on this, see the cursor come up. Now you can see we have 14 slots. A sandbag by itself starts out at 12 slots. Each wood pile here, so we have wood piles, planks, and logs. Each wood pile will give you an extra 2 slots. So we did it once with an upgrade. So now we're at 14, while 16, 18, 20. Then it will start bumping up. So we're going to scroll down, click upgrade, go through the animation, make sure you get the whole way through the animation. It's very important. I'm going to upgrade again. The last 2 upgrades will require nails to get the full size, which should be about 16, I want to say 16 guns and 125 items, and maybe 5 backpacks. It's hard for me to remember some of this stuff. The other stuff I really don't pay attention to too much. But we'll get there. We'll get through it. Now this is getting to be a bigger stash now. You can see the edges, the coloration, you can spin it around. So now in their stash, since we clicked on the stash, we have 1 weapons over here, 25 items, and then these goofy looking things are backpack. 1 weapon. It's a medium stash medium, 1 weapon, 25 items, 0 backpacks. So we're going to click on upgrade again. Just keep upgrading until it won't let you upgrade anymore. And you can see the coloration around here of once you memorize that, it'll tell you pretty much that, you know, the foliage around here, the ground is a little light color for this. It's very well hidden. But sometimes you want to match that color up if you can with the dirt and the white stripe and which way it's facing. And you'll be paying a lot of attention to the ground on that. I hope I brought some sheet metal with me. We're going to make nails here. If my memory serves me right, it takes 13 wood piles and 2 boxes of nails for a full-size stash. So key in on the stash, scroll on the left-hand side, upgrade again. Now we're going to take a look. Now you can handle 4 weapons, 75 items, 0 backpack. So 4 and 75. Oh, missing nails to do this. Was I a good Boy Scout today or not? Yep, sheet metal. Now this sheet metal looks like the aluminum diamond plate. And what we're going to do is we're going to click on J for your journal, but instead of clicking on the front cover with a cursor, you're going to go down the bottom left hand corner, click on craft. This tells you on the left everything you can craft. There's nail baseball bat, barbed wire baseball bat. You can make your own crossbow, bandage, sepsis bandage, wooden splint, herbal drink, everything that you can is available down there. And we're going to scroll down on the right hand side, and the top is stuff that you have in your backpack, your gear. We're going to take 1 sheet metal, and we're going to click on the black button here over here. We're going to move it from our gear up above down below to the crafting menu, and we're going to click start crafting. Now it tells me there's not enough room in here to do what it wants to do. So I don't have enough room here. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to use our stash to make some room. Put some wood in there. Okay. Click on J. Don't click on the menu yet. Click on craft. Scroll back down, take our sheet metal, move it into the box below, start crafting. Successfully created nails. Now open up your gear, and you'll see 4 boxes of nails were added in. Key on here, go back in, we'll pick out 3 wood piles here. Then scroll, continue upgrade. That's all there is to it. You can pick up boxes of nails by themselves. Crafting them is just one of the things out of the craft menu. That little tip right there alone is going to save you probably hundreds of hours of looking for nails while you're building your base. Now, as you can see, as I scroll down, I have gear, bison, and pistol. Gear, rifle, pistol. It won't let me upgrade anymore, so we're going to click on gear here. You can see we got room for, it's a stash medium plus 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 plus, which is the biggest size you can get for a stash. It can hold 16 weapons, 125 items, because we have 1 wood pile in there, and 1 backpack. So I'm going to take all the nails and the wood, throw in there. Match for emergency, flares, drink. I'm going to get rid of one of these bags here. Food. I have an extra antibiotic. I think that's it for now. Later on we'll come back and we'll fill that up. So as you can see, when I'm nailing down, if you stand right on top of my stash, there's not too many people that are going to be able to see it. They'd actually have to trip across it, and I can see it at night because this log sticks out here. And that, my friends, is how to build a stash in a lonely old wood line.